Hats off to you, Bucks, Cowboys. Like, as much as I hate both of your teams' guts, that was just such a good game. Hats off to you guys. Probably the best opening night kickoff game in a long time. Either way, let's get right into this recap.
Prescott for the end zone, and it's going to be caught.
The 24-year-old Tom Brady really better than what I'm watching in this practice throwing this thing around because he's so much smarter than what he was then.
At the age of 44, Brady steps up, avoids the rush, throws, caught, touchdown, Antonio Brown. And that kick,
How about that?
Is good.
What's going on, guys? Back with a recap. Let's go. So yeah, Cowboys Bucks was probably the best opening night kickoff game I've ever experienced. Yeah, I watched most of the film. Both quarterbacks look absolutely phenomenal in terms of passing the ball, and both the defenses struggled immensely to stop the passing game. They didn't really run. No team really run the ball particularly well. Then we used a pass-dominated offensive game. To tell you the truth. So yeah, the Bucks won on a game-winning kick, 31-29 against the Cowboys. Cowboys look pretty good. Their problem is their secondary and their defensive line not getting enough pressure. Their defensive line, other than DeMarcus Lawrence, wasn't getting any pressure. Their linebackers had to play up. The Bucks knew that, and to go over. And then I'm just gonna go over the keys to the game. So I had the Bucks offense move the ball through the running backs and do play action off of that. So I'm gonna get. So I give. I do it out of. I'm gonna do. So I do it out of basically how I do it is how they did it. Like I give them a check. X if they didn't do it, and then of course in the middle I have just a straight line. I'm gonna give them a straight line. Their offense actually didn't even play that bad. Their offense played really well, but they didn't really move the ball through the running backs as well as I thought they would. If they did do that, they would have won the game a lot more. And then Bucks defense pressure back and play zone on DAK. They didn't play zone on DAK, and that was a problem. They didn't really pressure DAK. He was pretty much untouched. For that reason, they shut down Zeke. So I have to give them the half. Their defense has a lot of problems, if I have to admit that, in the secondary right now. Sean Murphy-Bunting got hurt, but still. And Jordan Whitehead wasn't playing. What I mean to say is the Bucks defense has to figure that out because they weren't getting pressure. The offensive line for the Cowboys actually played phenomenal. But the only bad thing was that that Zach Martin's replacement didn't really do that well, to tell you the truth. Okay, so yeah, get Zeke going. He didn't get going at all because they just abandoned that. DAK had easy throws. He had a lot of easy throws, and he made them. And he made some really good throws. I'm going to give him another half. Their offense played really good. They just didn't run the ball. That's why I'm not giving them. They would have won the game if they run the ball better. But it's kind of hard to. Cowboys D, limit the big plays. They did that pretty well. Maintain any long drives. They didn't do that well. Third down conversions, heck no. I gotta give them an X for that. They did not give up that many big plays, but they were so they were so scared of giving up big plays in the run game that they just absolutely played the line, and they actually had to play man coverage because their linebackers had to bite, and Micah Parsons looked lost out there because he did not look like he was good. Dan Quinn, I have to admit, your defense actually played pretty well in some points, but you can't play man coverage with your defense. It's just simple as that. They can't play man coverage, which it's sad, but they just can't play man coverage because their secondary is just not good enough. Malik Hooker maybe is the only guy in that secondary. I'm like, that guy can shut down players in man coverage. Either way, if I actually had a grade, DAK had a pretty darn good game. 42 of 58, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, interception, 2 touchdowns to Amari Cooper, 1 to CD Lamb. CD Lamb had a phenomenal game. And then the interception, it was a dumb play by DAK, if I have to admit it. If but I had to hold him accountable for something. It's a really dumb throw. So he threw it into triple coverage right to Amari Cooper, and it was a little high, and it was just a dumb throw. It would have been an amazing play, but it was just dumb. Zeke on 11 carries had 33 yards. Didn't look very explosive. Like, he had some nice carries, but he didn't really get any carries really at all. And he just didn't look any. What do you expect? He's playing the Bucs defense, but I have to admit he didn't look as terrible as he could have been. Tony Pollard actually didn't. When he got some carries, he was productive. Dak, just most of those were escaping the sacks when he held on the ball too long. He did that too a little too much, but I'm not expecting that. Amari Cooper had a great game. I expected him to because they don't have a number one. They really didn't have a number one corner that game. Carlton Davis did shut him down on a couple of plays, and he absolutely clamped him on that interception. Carlton Davis, when he wasn't on him, was on CD Lamb. So basically, Carlton Davis was the only corner that was actually playing well. When Carlton Davis wasn't on Amari Cooper, he had 11 catches for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he had a phenomenal game. I was expecting that from him. You saw when you have teams with these good receiving cores, they don't have enough corners to have depth with that. So for that reason, that's what happened. But here's the thing: if the Bucs don't have Sean Murphy-Bunting against the Rams, if they had Sean Murphy-Bunting, this game would have been a lot different. I'll just tell you that because here's the difference between the Rams receiving core. They're gonna have problems. Here's why: the Rams receiving core manipulates zone defense better than any other receiving core in the NFL. It's pretty simple. So they have to play man against them. Cooper Kupp can beat man off, and they have to play off to Cooper Kupp sometimes because he will be a threat. He will be a threat at times with the run after catch. Because if you miss him on man coverage, if he gets enough separation, you're done. So for that reason, that's why the Cowboys needed to be able. The Cowboys just don't do that. They don't have that type of offense. That's just not their style. Because they also have to play the run too. They're like, yeah, we're confident in the run. The Rams can still run the ball against you. They got to think about that. Either way, that's for another day. But Amari Cooper had a good game. I expected him to have this. Honestly, if Sean Murphy-Bunting gets hurt, if a number one corner gets hurt, that's what's gonna happen. CD Lamb actually had a pretty good game, a really good game. He got me 23 points of fantasy. Either way, yeah, CD Lamb had a great game, and I have to admit they actually were paying attention more to CD Lamb than Amari Cooper. There was at least 5 plays where CD Lamb was double teamed. Amari Cooper only had 1 on him. Here's why: Amari Cooper does not do well against good corners, so Carlton Davis can go up against him. Now Dalton Schultz, he was just straight up productive. That's all I gotta say about it. Michael Gallup again had a Michael Gallup game. He had a couple catches, a good amount of yards. Tony Pollard, he had some really nice plays. That's about it. Got a couple of first downs. Same with Cedric Wilson. Blake Jarwin had this one really nice play, but that was about it. Zeke, there was just a couple of dump offs. Defensively, they were on the field a lot. Like, I get they got these interceptions. The Trayvon Diggs pick was BS. It was off Fournette's hand. I don't know why they had him in there, and it was a pick. And then the Jordan Lewis pick was just a bad pass by Brady. Like, it was a little high. It wasn't a good pass. Like, it wasn't an absolute terrible pass, but it just wasn't a good one. Yeah, Anthony Brown had the most tackles. That was just bad. Jaron Curse, like I said, when he was going in, he looked really good. Oh yeah, Malik Hooker, he didn't play today. Last night, they need him to play because he is their best player in the secondary without question. Trayvon Diggs, no offense to you, Trayvon, but you're not a good number one corner. Kelvin Joseph didn't play really at all. Corey Clement was on there for some dumb reason. Either way, their whole secondary was awful. Like, Micah Parsons, he was involved. I like how he played. He had a lot of plays where he got blown coverage, but he was playing the line on those play action. It was his job. He did not want to get beat in the run game, so he did that. I gotta say, he did get beat a couple times. They didn't record a sack, though. DeMarcus Lawrence was like 5 times he came close to getting a sack, but he never did. So, yeah. And then Carlos Watkins actually had a really nice tackle. He probably should have had a sack, too. They had a couple guys who could have got sacks, but they just didn't have them. Brady honestly didn't look as good as DAK, if I had to admit that. 32 of 50 for 379 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. 2 picks, like I said. One was BS. The other was actually a nice pick. Tom Brady, he actually had a really good game. 4 touchdowns, of course. The 47-yard bomb, I didn't actually expect it on that play because they were actually playing a decent man. But the safety they had, I think it was Jaron Curse. He wasn't doing anything. He was just standing there. He should have played more back, and that's about it. That's basically just simple football. I knew what the zone was too. He should have played a little more drop 3, but he didn't do that. So yeah, it was touchdown. And oh yeah, I forgot to say, we got to it either way. Leonard Fournette didn't really run the ball at all. He was a power back, but like I expected him to have these games. Ronald Jones didn't really do much. Antonio Brown had a carry. He was probably he actually had a really nice play. AB, he looked like AB from 2 years ago. 5 catches, 121 yards, a touchdown. He was definitely the best receiver that day. He was the best player on the field, it looked like, for most of the game. Chris Godwin got a lot of catches. It was a lot of scheme, if I admit that. At least 6 of those catches, he was wide open because they were running a motion. No offense to him, but that's just simple. The touchdown could have been anyone else or anyone else. Gronk was the most productive. Like, I get AB. AB was definitely the best player on the field that day, last night, but Gronk had 8 catches for 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's like, you can't really deny that. And then Leonard Fournette saved Brady from a couple sacks. Like I said, they were getting pressure. Mike Evans, he had a couple of nice catches, but he wasn't really the focal point of the offense. Giovanni Bernard, they tried to get him involved. That was good. I don't know, like, who was it? Whatever. The offensive coordinator for the Bucks. I have a suggestion. Stop freaking putting Leonard Fournette as your receiving back. He's not a receiver. Devin White would play the best game, and same with Levante David. Those two dudes played the best game I've seen them play in a long time. They were really flying across the field. Carlton Davis, of course, I had today that pick. The rest of their defense didn't really play that well. Like, Shaquille Barrett had a sack. He just absolutely burned, who was it? He was coming inside on a blitz, whatever. He burned Connor McGovern. That's who it was. He burned him so bad. But Connor McGovern held his right. JPP had a really couple nice tackles for loss. Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh and William Golston all did their job. They held up the middle, and that was good. Nunez Roches actually had a nice tackle too with Ndamukong Suh. It was a really nice game for their defense. Like, they couldn't stop the pass because they just didn't have the corner. They were one player away from absolutely dominating that game. Either way, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. The Bucks won 31-29. But Bucks are heading to, who is it? Atlanta, I think. Whatever. They're heading to Atlanta, or yeah, it's Atlanta. Or is it Carolina? Oh, I gotta check this. Okay, so for the Cowboys, they're having actually a national televised game. Their game's gonna be on national television. Where's the game? Yeah, Bucks Falcons. Falcons at Bucks. But what I meant to say is, Cowboys are going into. They have a big game next week against the Chargers. We'll get into that, but yeah, that's on national television. So yeah, you probably want to go tune into that because that'd be a heck of a game. Either way, like and subscribe. Cowboys played really well. 29-31 Bucks final. Either way, hope you enjoyed. Let's go.